Welcome to our new episode of IYF podcast, where you can interview your future self. Ladies and gentlemen, the person we have on our set today has a very successful and inspiring story. This individual came to this country just 5 years back, and since then, he has flipped three houses already. And let me tell you, he bought his first house when he was an international student. How crazy is that? And right now, just within 5 years of period, he owns a gas station in London and he has a very successful painting business going on. So let us welcome Mr. Suraj Nando. Thank you, Suraj, for joining us today.
Thank you.
And we congratulate you on your great success so far. And I'm pretty sure that this is going to be inspiring for so many of our fellow students and immigrants.
100%.
So, Suraj, before we get to your journey,
Mhm.
we want to know your background.
Yeah, I'm from Gurgaon and I completed my graduation from Delhi University.
Okay,
I took BA honors political science.
okay,
After completion of my graduation, I came to Canada in 2018.
right,
I came to Windsor
okay,
and I took a postgraduate diploma in human resources
that's
from
right.
St. Clair College in
Okay,
Windsor.
nice. So please take us through the journey. Like, how did it begin? How did you take the path of entrepreneurship in this country?
Actually, Tabish, it's a very interesting story that brought me here today.
Yeah,
It was just like you asked me, like how the first job came up and all that stuff. So
yeah,
I like I'm like I'm not hesitant to tell that like I started as a part-time kind of like a marketer for the person. At
okay,
that time, I used to knock the doors of
and
the people and ask them like, hey. I'm from this and this company, and
yes,
then our company offer this and this service. Are you
yes,
interested in that?
yeah,
So my first job in Canada was that.
okay,
And then from there onwards, I was like, okay, this is something that I won't be doing for so long. I need to find a way
right,
that gonna bring me uh, to the next level that I've always imagined myself.
yes,
And I started exploring my college entrepreneurship centers, and
right,
then frequently visiting those centers and like
okay.
learning what's going on there.
So you had an entrepreneurship center in your college.
Yes.
So people who are watching this, they can, if they want, they can reach out to those centers if they have one in
Yes,
college. Okay,
like all the universities and colleges, they must be having the entrepreneurship centers in their
okay,
campus.
okay,
So yeah, like if you go there and then you're gonna get know like what's going on around your college and what companies are coming in
right,
and what they exactly are looking for.
okay,
So that's what I started my spending
okay,
time in the entrepreneurship
okay.
centers.
Before we go any further, Suraj, I want to know, why you chose this path. People are so busy paying their fees.
Mhm.
We as a student, I didn't have time to sleep, right?
Yeah, I
And
get
I
it.
cannot even think of going out to an entrepreneurship center.
Mhm.
When I have my assignments on mind, when I have my fees due,
Mhm.
and I have to travel to college and everything. What made you go to the entrepreneurship center first in the first place?
Well, like that's completely depending on the individual, like what they want to do. Like if you want to keep yourself busy
Right.
to the daily routine, you
Yeah.
can keep that as well. But
Yeah.
like if you want to go out of the box and then look around, like in the country, what's going on, what's the future gonna be coming up, and then if you want to be working for someone 9 to 5 every
Yeah.
day,
Right.
it's completely individual choice. But you have to have some spare time that you can invest in yourself.
Yes.
Just plan your week, have like there are 168 hours in a week.
Yeah.
Just plan out all those hours and
Right.
then just start working on yourself.
Great. That's great answer.
Mhm.
So how did it go with the entrepreneurship center?
I was new to the country, so I was not aware of like how things works here.
Yeah.
And then the company was there at that time was College Pro Painters.
Mm-hmm.
That was the company name, who was looking for a franchise
College
manager.
Pro Painters.
College Pro Painters,
Okay.
yeah. So at that time they were looking for a franchise manager, and then they were interviewing people, and I was like, okay, what's this paint related to my
Yeah.
career? Because I saw paint in my house, like in India, like people
Right.
came in and like they're painting, and like
Yeah.
how can someone do a business of this?
Yes.
So that was very interesting. And then I started exploring their company websites and all that, came to know that okay, they basically have a like a mindset of like we have to train students
Yes.
to like make their career path in the future. So we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be teaching them like how to run a successful painting business
Business.
while they're at the school, so
Okay.
that they can pay their tuition fees and all that stuff.
Great.
So I started my application through them, and then initially I got an interview,
Okay.
and then in the interview I did well.
Okay.
And then they were like not just one interview, they were like 6 or 7 series of interviews. I used to come to Toronto
Okay.
for their district managers and all that.
So you traveled from Windsor to Toronto for
Right
the
share.
6 interviews.
Yes, 6 interviews. I used to
Okay.
travel like, okay, come here and there. So
And that too for a business opportunity, not just a job that is going to pay you next week.
100%, man. Like I stepped out of the
This is
box.
something serious. This is something bold move.
Yeah,
Suraj, I know people who won't do nothing
yeah,
without knowing that they're getting paid on the next Friday.
yeah.
Okay, this is
Yeah.
great. Okay, please continue.
Yeah, so like I was initially selected after all my interviews process, and then the company invited me to Toronto to have to like attend the events that they're gonna be running for all the students that they have. So after that, the second conference, I started marketing my business in
Okay,
the cities, and then the first job that I did was a telemarketing job
okay.
in 2018. So now it's time for me to hire people who wanna work for me
And
for the telemarketing
market the
stuff.
business for you.
So I hired 4 people.
Hmm.
I used to pay them hourly. They
Okay,
used to knock the doors and ask the same, like, okay, we offer these services. Are you interested?
yeah,
And then that was door knocking. The
yeah,
second was telemarketing. I hired one person just to make calls to all the people that
right,
you're getting information for
yeah.
by door knocking.
Hmm.
And then third was kind of like the company was doing the marketing for my business as well,
Okay, okay,
because they charged me fees for that.
okay.
So initially, like the jobs starting coming in, like people started following in, because how the Canadian culture works is everyone want to get their things done in the summertime, whether it's like landscaping, whether it's like painting,
That's right.
whether it's like drywalling, like
Yeah,
because of the snow time, like people are inside
yeah,
and they just plan according to the summers. Okay, we have vacation coming up.
right.
Before vacation, we have to do this. We have to
We
do that.
see construction going on everywhere in this
Every
summers.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly. So
right.
that's how it is. And then that was just the like main backbone like of the
Okay.
business.
So let's help me understand this one thing here. I'm stuck on this. You were not making any money yet,
Yep.
and you were paying people $50 an hour to market
Yes.
your business,
Correct.
and business was also charging you fees
Yep.
to marketing your business,
Yep.
and you had not made any money yet.
Any money yet. So I was paying all that money on pocket without knowing that my business
What's
gonna
going to
be a
be outcome?
outcome of the business. So that
Okay,
was kind of like a risk factor that I took at that time.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And then
No
yeah.
wonders you are here at this position right now, brother. No wonders.
No.
That's what it takes.
Yeah, that's what
Okay,
it takes. It takes a lot of courage too
yeah,
to run a business when you're into a different country, different people, and different currency rate
yeah,
as well. Like you know how that goes, right?
right,
If you burn a lot of money, you know where you go, right?
right.
So that's how it is. And then initially the jobs started coming in. People started calling me. Like I got the information of the customers. Basically, I tried to reach them out. Like, hey, I got information from my telemarketer who was calling you last week.
Right.
Are you interested in a free quote that I'm gonna give you? And it's like, okay, yeah, come out. And then the first estimate that I went to, like I was trained, but I know like I was kind of like nervous too, like
Mhm.
how to basically take out the square footage
Yeah,
and how much gonna be the paint will be used, how much will the labor, how much will be my profit out of
yeah.
this, how much will be the royalties are going out of this job. So I made a
Are you actually
blunder.
going to make money or no?
Yes,
Right.
yes, like all those thoughts were coming into my mind when I
Yeah,
was doing my first estimate.
yeah.
And I made a really a blunder on the estimate because I gave the guy like way over budget, like way over his thinking, like
Okay,
this is
price.
gonna be the price. So the job was for like near about $2,000, but I gave him like $6,000 because I was stuck. I was not knowing how to do the calculations properly, right?
Right.
And then since it was my first estimate, the guy was like, "Are you crazy?"
Yeah.
So that thing was
And
like,
this is something we want to know over, people who want to take the path of entrepreneurship.
yeah,
So there's most people think that they will start the business
mhm,
when they figure out everything.
yeah,
And that's not possible,
that's not possible.
right?
No,
So you have to walk, you
you
have
have to
to,
work.
go through the process, and that's how that was your that was your first sale.
Yeah,
That was going to be your first sale,
that
and
was
it was a
first sale.
great blunder.
Yeah, I created a blunder that, and
Right.
like the funny thing was like I was not having my car.
Yeah.
Like I was a student, right? I was not
Yeah.
having a car, so I went in a bus
To
to
give them
give
the
to
estimate.
give the estimate. So
Man, this is something really, I'm so inspired myself.
yeah,
Okay.
so that was my struggling days, you can say. And then
Okay.
slowly, like I started like, okay, that's how it is working. I started giving time to myself, like,
Yeah.
okay, this is the estimate, this is the square footage I have to take, and like that's
Yeah.
how I have to calculate the hours of labor, how
Yeah.
hour, like how much of the paint quantity will be used and all
Right.
that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it's from there, like I started booking jobs and jobs and jobs. And then there was a time where I was like, okay, like I need more time to like focus on the production, because I need to hire more people who
Yeah.
gonna do the work for me now.
So,
Because the
yeah.
telemarketers, they did their job.
Okay.
They bought me leads and I called them and I booked the jobs. So
So
now,
appointments were there.
yeah, so everything was like jobs were booked. And then I was like around in the sales, like I was like around 80K at that point of time. And then
Okay.
I need a team now who
to
can
deliver the
like
service.
produce this job, like who
Yes.
can go and paint those houses.
Right.
So I started focusing on that, and then like I hired four of the students that were like my classmates. So
Okay.
they came to know that okay, I'm running a business,
Okay.
and they were like, hey man, like hire us and all that stuff.
Okay.
So
So this is another fun part.
yeah,
You were actually paying your classmates to
yeah,
do the job for you.
yeah,
So most people, when they're looking for a $15-16 per hour job,
yeah.
you're actually hiring your classmates.
Yes,
Okay.
like that. They came to know from a professor, like, okay, this guy is doing sort of like a business while in
Okay.
college. So,
Right.
so they're like, bro, like, why don't you hire
Hire
us? I was
us.
like, sure, man, like, join me. And then,
Okay. So Suraj, it has been a really interesting journey so far.
Mhm.
But I want to know, like, did you actually make some money or was it just experience only?
uh, I would say like it was both.
Okay.
Actually, like when I started,
Right.
I was nervous and like I was not sure where this path gonna take me,
Hmm.
but I'm very fortunate today that
Hmm.
that was the right path that I chose at that time.
Okay.
And with a lot of like entrepreneurship experience, I got like a lot of like training for myself, and
Yeah.
then that training helped me out in train someone else too.
Right.
And then with all that under my belt, I would say like I did $175,000 in sales.
Okay.
That was in
In
overall
1 year.
business. Yeah, five months, bro.
Okay.
So that was 5 months that I because the business starts from May, June, July, August. So 4 or 5, like September, late September, you have to finish all the jobs.
Okay.
So within 5 months, the sales were 175K
Okay.
with a profit of $75,000 in my pocket.
So you actually made $70,000 in 5 months.
$75,000 in 5 months, yeah,
Okay.
while being in school.
While being in school.
Yeah.
Okay. When did you study?
Uh, the time management.
Okay.
That's what I would
168 hours a week.
yeah, that's how they used to train me. Like they used to break all the hours.
Yeah.
Okay, 168 hours in a week.
Yeah.
How many hours do you sleep?
Wow.
And then like
Wow.
calculate that by 7 days.
I'm telling you, Suraj, this story is actually humbling me down, first of all.
Okay.
Right. I used to think, okay, I have done something coming with this country, and now I'm thinking I have done nothing.
No, it's not like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, just kidding.
Yeah.
So, what did you do with this money? Did you do some shopping? You bought Mustang or Wrangler? Maybe.
No. Like I never had a thought of like buying such like luxury cars or something like that. But
Okay.
like I know like for long term they won't be giving you that much of like wealth or something. It's just kind of like short term entertainment you can buy and you can just okay get rid of. That's
Right.
but like I didn't want to waste my money that time. That was my crucial time because I graduated from college that year,
Yeah.
and then I was thinking like what I can do with this money.
Yeah.
And then I ended up buying my first house with that money
As a student.
as a student. I was still a student in 2019,
Okay.
and then the house that we got was $293,000,
Yeah.
and then that was in late October or November in 2019.
How did it happen? As a student, I had no, okay, money was there.
Yeah.
I know there are some, status restrictions on buying a house. How did it happen?
So the first thing is like one of my like elder brother, like he was
Yeah.
kind of like cousin to me. He was permanent resident at that time. We made up a plan like, hey, because he was earning good money as well, and like I was having good chunk of money.
Mhm.
So he was like, why don't we buy a house? So I became a silent investor and I invested in my first house.
So that's the most awaited question,
Mhm.
right? How did an international student who came to this country in 2018 ended up owning a gas station in London right now? Please take us through that.
Yeah, the wish. So, like it's kind of like a question that is very close to me. Like it's not just you. It's like a lot of other like my colleagues who has asked me this question. Like, how did you come up with this?
Yes.
And even like friends from India too. Like they are
How
very.
did it happen?
It already happened. Like
Yeah.
they are saying like, how did you bought yourself here in short span of time as
Yes.
well. So yeah, so the money that I invested in my first house that I told you,
Mhm.
after investing all that stuff and kept a little bit of savings with me, so just for my personal needs,
Okay.
I started working for Sherwin Williams as a
Okay.
manager because they offered me a position of a manager, store manager,
Okay.
and I did that just because I needed to get my permanent residence.
Right. Right.
Because of the express entry for 1 year, you have to show yourself
Okay.
employed in a company, and then you give your IELTS and all that stuff is involved.
Okay.
So I did that year, the 2019 till 2020 September, I was with Sherwin Williams, and
Okay.
then while I was working there, the money that I was making, I kept on saving that money too. It
Okay.
was not that much of money that I made in business because I was coming from
Right.
a roller coaster ride to like a
Job
slow ride, like a
that
job,
only pays the bills.
that only pays the bill, right?
Yeah.
But still, I managed to like
Save some.
save some money, and then that at that time market was kind of like the real estate market was maybe just buy a house, renovate it, and
Yeah.
just sell
Flip
it,
it.
just flip it.
Right.
So that's k- kind of like market that time it was going on. If we compare that market to today's market, now like it's kind of like a rent market. Like
Yeah.
you just get a house,
Keep it.
just keep it, like don't
Give it
sell
on
it
rent.
unless
Yeah.
there's a market boom, but just rent it out. So
Yes.
that's how it is now. But at that time it was kind of a
Flipping market.
flipping market. So we bought second house while I was on my work permit, while I was at Sherwin-Williams.
Okay.
So with the same guy, being a silent investor again,
Right.
bought the house. We did kind of like little renovation, played around like all the drywalling, flooring, and all that stuff, and keeping that house for 11 months.
Yeah.
And whatever the mortgage was, we paid out through the rent. We rented it. I was living in the same house,
Yes.
so it was like zero money that was costing us on the mortgage and insurance
So the house is paying for itself.
for itself, paid itself by the house.
Yeah.
That's it. And then we kept it for 11 months.
Yeah.
And then now we were thinking like, okay, maybe like jump to the next big step. So the second house that we bought was for 230, like near about that range. We
Okay.
renovated it and then we sold it for 350, 357 or something close to that,
Okay.
with a profit of $150,000, like for both of us.
Yeah.
And then it's like 75K for each of us. So
Okay.
that's how like that chunk of money gathered once again.
Yes.
Like the first time it was gathered, and then the third house we sold, like the one in August.
Yeah.
The second house we sold in August 2020, and then bought in the same month because closing and the for both the houses were the same date.
Okay.
So we were giving the keys for one house,
And
taking the
taking
keys
them
for
for
the
another
other. So
one.
that's how it was done.
Okay.
So the third house that we bought was a really nice house. It was like $500,000.
Okay.
That was the best house among all three of us so far.
Okay.
It was really a good house. It was like 6 bedrooms
Oh.
and fully carpeted, backyard, driveway. It was a
Right.
pretty decent house,
Right.
and we invested into that one. But at that time, the COVID thing came in or something that
Yes.
happened, and that took the market to a next level.
Yeah.
And while I was in India,
Yeah.
my partner calls me like, hey, like within like we got that house in August 2020. In
Yeah.
2021, I was sitting home in March maybe or something, like six months or something. Like he called me and it's like, hey, maybe like we might sell this house. I was like, why? We just bought it,
Bought
man.
it.
This is a very nice house.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, the offer you're gonna be listening is like gonna blow your mind. I
What
was
was the
like,
offer?
it was 872K, $872,000.
So in just that period of time,
Yeah.
from half a million to 872.
4 or 5 months, bro. Like we got that in August, September, October, November, December, January. So 5 months, the property price boomed up to like close to 3 or like 400K more
Damn.
from the
Okay.
price that we bought the house.
So you sold it.
We had to sell it. Like
The offer was
so-
too good to refuse.
yeah, it was really tough to refuse the money that we were getting
Yeah.
and the profit that we were making. So
Right.
we individually made like 200, like around $200,000
Each.
each of us.
Wow.
So.
Okay.
And then with again like the money came in and like we were thinking about like what to do next now
Right.
because this money was
So
so much.
I'm so fascinated about your story.
Mhm.
People I know in my circle, they have money problems. You know how to get money, how to get money. Right? You're thinking what to do with this money. That is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Great.
that like, and then my partner became a real estate agent by that time, and
Okay.
like he was dealing with real estates too. He works with EXP.
Okay.
So he came up with an idea like, okay, the gas station might be the best one to invest all that money.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, like will we be able to run it though?
Right.
Because there are like a lot of gas stations that people owns, and then they are not making the money that much, and but the mortgage also paid by the owners too.
Yeah.
Because there are various factors involved, Tabish, to be honest, when you own a gas station or when you are in process of buying a gas station.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, so we invested all our money into the gas station.
So what are the requirements to own a gas station? I mean, what are the factors that matter?
There are various factors, Tavish, to be honest. The first is like investment, that
Okay.
you have to have sufficient funds for putting down payment.
Right.
Second is location. and then third is like basically getting all the licenses from government, which is like lottery or like cigarettes.
So you have to have lessons for that.
You
Okay.
have to, like when you apply to get a gas station, you have to have all that stuff
Okay.
before even buying a gas station.
Okay.
And then you have to always look for something. Okay, it's not just a gas station. Look for like convenience store
Right.
inside on the property with a big parking lot.
Okay.
And then also if there's no car wash or there's no restaurant kind of stuff, you can always have enough space in the parking lot that you can just convert that into maybe a restaurant. You can have pizza or like Tim Hortons there.
Okay.
That's always an like option for that.
Okay. And what about the investment? How much money is involved for a normal individual?
It depends on like the gas station volume. Basically, like our was about $3.7 million.
Okay.
We had to have 30% down payment, which was kind of like 1.2, 1.3
Okay.
million
For
dollars.
3.7 million, you put down 30%
30
from your own pocket.
Own pocket, yeah.
Okay.
30% has to go from your own pocket.
Okay. Owning a house, owning a gas station, and you also mentioned that you have a successful painting business going on.
Yeah.
So what does the future look like? Is it done already? You have some future plans? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Like this is very interesting and like very good question to give a thought like what gonna be next, because with all this that I have today, like I never thought when 5 years ago I came here, like what gonna be happening in after 5 years.
Yes.
I never thought I'm gonna be a gas station owner. Like I was like, when I came to Canada, I was like, okay, will I able to pass my exams? That was my
That's the
initial.
biggest concern.
That's the biggest concern
Okay.
of all the immigrant students who come to Canada. I was like,
Right.
okay, how is the study process there and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that being said, like all of us like plan for a future. Like
Mhm.
always we have to plan ahead
Yeah.
of time, because you don't know what's coming towards you, right?
Right.
So as of now, like plans changes too, but I don't want to just throw things on my own. Like okay, I'm gonna expect myself to be here, but if I don't be there, like feel bad and like
Yeah.
I just. So like my plan to like next 5 years is like just to work on the gas station part, like just to grow the business.
Okay.
Because it's making money itself, I just go and visit sometimes with my partner. He is also
Right.
managing it, and like focus on the painting business, because we are running a successful business from Windsor till Cambridge.
Okay. That's
all
great.
the cities that we're gonna be focusing on, because that business is like daily money, man. Like
Right.
that's it's a skillful business.
Mhm.
And I like, since I started my journey from that particular business, so I don't
Right.
want to leave it,
Yeah.
but just more focusing on that. And then the money that we're gonna be making every year from gas station and from a painting business,
Yeah.
maybe we're gonna be investing into real estate, or
Okay.
maybe I gave a thought to myself, but maybe we might go for the dealerships like the
Okay.
Honda and all that, like car dealerships and all that.
Right.
So we might go there, or we can go into the US, like invest in the US as well.
Okay.
So those
So
are kind of
you
like
have plans going on right
yeah,
around.
they
Okay.
like with the money that you like, if you start making a lot of money,
Yeah.
like the thoughts gonna be coming towards
Opportunities
you.
gonna come and you evaluate the opportunities.
That's
That's right.
how it goes, man.
So basically, you have built the cash flow,
Yeah.
and now the opportunity is coming. Now, basically, you are going to focus building your own empire.
Yeah, that's how
That's the
exactly it's gonna be.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. And this is so inspiring, Suraj.
Mm.
What will you advise to people out there who, when they come to this country, when they get a little comfortable, they go after the cars, they go after all those shiny things.
Yeah.
What is your suggestion to them?
The only suggestions to them is like the problem is like people come here and then they don't have any foundations on them, because back home we live with family. So
Yeah.
whatever you do, you have to take permission from family, right?
Right.
And then people come here, so the hand which is on them is
Lifted.
lifted,
Yeah.
and so now they're free bird. So
Right.
they want to fly.
Yeah.
And when they see all these Mustangs, challenges to downtown and
Right.
like clubbing and all that
Yes.
stuff, so they get influenced like really fast, especially the youth which is coming after their 12th grade.
Yes.
That's what my thing is. But the only advice to them is like just look at your parents and like look at like from where you came from, and then focus on yourself, because don't misuse the liberty which is given to you by your family.
Wow.
That's what I would say, because every parent give their best to their kids,
To-
even if they are not wealthy enough. They just try to be best, so that like our kid doesn't think, okay, my parents are not like caring about myself,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all that stuff. But yeah, just look at your family members and see like, okay, if your parents are happy whatever you're doing, I don't mind minding that stuff.
What are you
If you're
doing?
doing something which makes your parents proud,
Yes.
That's
Go for it.
go for it. If your parents are happy seeing you in Mustangs,
Okay.
like going crazy all night,
Right.
just do whatever you're doing,
Your
man.
call. So Suresh is a final question. A lot of people out there, they want to pursue the path of entrepreneurship. They want to own their business ultimately in this country. What is your suggestion to them?
The only suggestion that I'll be giving to them is like be a go-getter, like go and get it.
Okay.
That's what my one thing that I learned when I was doing all this,
Mhm.
because there's a transition curve that comes in your career where like we are on your top and
Yeah.
you go down.
Right.
When you're down, like in your career, you have to be just depending on your thoughts, like, okay, how can I come out of this?
Yes.
So if you're not mentally prepared, you're mentally strong,
Right.
that there's no way that you're gonna coming out of that. So the first thing I will be giving them is advice is uh, go out, make good connections.
Okay.
Like don't just like bound yourself with some like group mates where like okay, you're hanging them out like every day basis.
Right.
Just explore, like have big circumference, like
Right.
let
Network.
all the people come and like start networking. And there are a lot of like events happening in college universities. Just don't focus on doing shifts all day and night. Just don't focus on that, because it's the age where like it's a time, it's a correct time. So get the opportunity, don't miss this opportunity, like where okay, the time is gone now. After 5 years you'll be sitting and like, okay, what did I do in my college?
Right.
You will be having all those friends, same
Yes.
friends which you had in your house. So just build your network and then go out, talk to people, talk to professors, because the problem with Indian youth is like they just focus on earning
Right.
money. Like they come here, okay, my shift
Physical
is
work.
at physical work and all that stuff. That's also not bad that I'm
Right.
saying, but like you can
You have to focus
act
on
smart.
long term.
Yeah, so like, act smart and like talk
Mhm.
to your professors and ask them like, hey, what are the various factors where opportunities in this country that we can explore,
Right.
and especially if you want to be an entrepreneur in your life. So there are various entrepreneur centers. If not in college or universities, they are paid. You
Right.
can just get online things, but you
You
just
can
have
go
to
to
invest in yourself.
Eventbrite.
You have to invest in yourself.
Right.
But like students, every dollar count on them. I get it, but
Mhm.
if you want to do something big out of the box,
Mhm.
you have to invest in yourself.